This is Sky Blues Extra.
Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Sky Blues Extra. You're live with me, myself, Dean, live in Dubai this week, funny enough, and alongside me I've got Ross with me as well. How you doing, Ross?
Yeah, not too bad, Dino. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, I can't travel home, obviously, but you know, it is what it is for the time being.
They've got the dream team on today, haven't they?
That is,
Me and
the
you,
big,
mate.
what they say, the big games call for the big names, and
That's
certainly that's me. That's me and you. Well, obviously a 1-1 draw for the Sky Blues. That's 4 draws now against our landlords, shall we say, Birmingham City over the last 2 years. Just somewhat odd for us, Ross. It was probably one of those ones where we probably just didn't have that quality to see a positive result, really.
Yeah, no, I think to be honest with you, it was one of those sort of games. It was sort of fell into that category of when we drew to Luton at home, Huddersfield. There was those period of games where we actually we drew a lot of games at Stoke as well. If we hadn't given away a silly penalty, we win that game 1-0, and I think we do. I literally think it was just that fine margins, to be honest. I didn't really feel too worried about losing the game, but I did feel like we just, from about 65 minutes, we lost our sort of composure in the game a little bit.
Yeah.
Because up to that point, at half-time, I was thinking that only one team's going to win this.
It was a bit scrappy and messy, wasn't it, after that 65-minute period, I thought.
Yeah, it was. It was a bit.
And that wasn't just Cobb, it was both teams, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, Birmingham are a pretty poor team as well. Obviously, they've been in the Championship for several seasons now. So, no, it was very scrappy, and I feel like the pitch doesn't help. I mean, the pitch looks woeful, almost Rico-esque, dare I say, in parts. No, but no, it was a scrappy game, but I feel like actually on the whole, I thought we defended pretty well. Coming off a game from Wednesday night as well, which would have taken a lot out of the players.
Yeah, even saying that, I thought our fitness levels were really, really good at times today. You could see the game plan was to get 2 men onto every Birmingham player when they could, and just basically starve them of any space and any time on the ball. I think to a degree we probably did that, and it was kind of like we were trying to feed off scraps a little bit, trying to force them into mistakes, wasn't it?
And I sort of don't think that was a bad plan, because their defence looked like they had a mistake in them, and it was just, even at the end in the second half, there was just little things that just didn't quite fall for us.
Mm-hmm.
Even that chance right at the death to Shipley and that other one with Biamu. I mean, really, I think if he connects with that shot he had in the second half, it scores. So yeah. I literally, he did everything right. Great first touch, great second touch, and I thought if he hits this well, like he normally does, it's a goal. So I actually felt like we did enough. We did enough. Obviously, it sounds silly. Like I think we could have done more to win the game, but I feel like with what we did, had we won that game 2-1, I wouldn't have been surprised.
We definitely had a lot more control than Birmingham, I thought, for large periods of the game. Okay, other teams are always going to come into it, but that Biamu chance, like you said, that was a gilt-edge opportunity, and it was brilliant link-up play, wasn't it? By I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to start.
Giorquez or something.
Giorquez.
Well, I think I've got 10 different ways of saying it, having listened to Clive. And then
it's the Hamer again, is it?
Clive,
the whole Hamer situation.
Clive tried to blame it on like having a cold or the cold, and he couldn't get his tongue around the words or something. So I don't know. But Victor, I'm calling him Victor.
Yeah, Big Vic.
Big Vic.
He's a big lad. But yeah, well. I mean. Yeah, absolutely. I mean that. Unfortunately, this is the first game I've managed to see due to work commitments over the last couple of weeks. So, I thought he was outstanding this evening. He looks up for a fight. He looks fit. He looks sharp. I think he's everything we're going to need now, because it's going to be a battle now to the end of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, and he did look. I think that's the key word. He looked fit. I felt like Max, after that chance, sort of lost his. He looked like he was a bit tired. But it was Victor, really nice touches. I thought he held at the ball. He was strong. And I've been impressed with him, actually. That was his best performance, even better than Wednesday night. And then Wednesday night was better than his debut. So, no, he's getting better. And if that continues, then fantastic, because we're going to need him.
Absolutely. Obviously, we'll talk about through all the big key points in the game, the penalty, the goal, etc., a couple of chances. But it's your show as well as ours. So get your comments coming in. If you want to join us in the studio, you're more than welcome. The links are on Twitter. Come and join us. You'll be held in a queue, and I'll bring you in as and when I can. But let's go through some of the comments to start off the evening. Kyle, good evening, Kyle. We could beat Forest Tuesday night. Absolutely. I don't think we should be in awe of any team in this division. Forest is still struggling as well, so by all means we can go there with confidence on Tuesday night. Nige, we came out the block second half. Yeah, I thought we definitely looked a lot sharper, didn't we, Ross? Straight from the off on that second half.
No, so I completely agree with that comment. Yeah, second half, and that's what made me feel like the first 5-10 minutes. I thought we're going to win this game, and I think we're a very good team once we take the lead. I feel like had we took the lead, I think we'd have seen it out. So that's why I was quite impressed that we actually got an equaliser, because we're not very good at coming back from a goal down. So no, I agree. Second half we started well, and it was just a shame we couldn't continue that enough to get the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Danny, good to see you with us again this evening. Danny, Big Vic, what a performance by that guy today. Yeah, superb. I think we'll go into a little bit more detail with his performance a bit later on in the show, but a superb performance. And another one that I thought was outstanding, especially in that first half, was Callum O'Hare, and he's really coming into it now. And getting involved with that goal. Obviously, we'll talk about the goal as well, but he's growing into the league, like Nye says, and that's a great asset to have. Danny thinks a draw was a fair result as well, potentially. On the grand scheme of things, no real team had the quality to see it out, but we definitely think here in the studio that it's probably an opportunity missed by the Sky Blues. And another thing he wants to bring up is Mark Robbins. Now, I was in the toilet at half time, and I heard them talk about the substitutions, and Clive said Mark Robbins is coming on for Birmingham. I was like, well, that's a bit odd, isn't it?
Well, do you know what? The thing was, when Clive says something now, I always think he could be talking. Do you know what I mean? Like, he could be saying something completely unrelated. So
I think Oggie's clocking onto it as well, isn't he?
Yeah. Because I was there thinking, I thought I had to check. I was like, I don't believe him. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just if you when you got iFollow and you hear what he says and watch what he says, it just doesn't match up half the time. So I didn't know what was going on really. I was sort of like, did I hear that right? Is Clive have one of his moments? But it was funny.
I think there was only a couple of mistakes Clive made this evening, so he's got away with one. He was breathing heavily as well. I know it was a bit odd, but there you go. We'll leave him be. Blues TV claiming that they dominated for the 90. I mean, I can't see how anybody on this planet would claim that. To be honest,
if Birmingham think they dominated, then they should be worried.
Yeah.
If they thought they dominated that game, they should be. Then I'd be very, very concerned, because I think we'll sit here and say we play better and we can play better.
Sure.
And by no means we'd say we dominated the game. I think that's an outrageous statement to say that they dominated the game.
Very odd, that one. We'll talk about the goal then. Let's talk about the penalty, obviously, for Birmingham. McCallum, a rash challenge. I mean, he makes that first challenge and the guy slips by him, and it's kind of like, just let him go. That's it. Job done. You can't make any more stupid challenges because it's going to be a penalty, and it's just a rash challenge, isn't it?
9th penalty of the season we've given away. I mean, that's a lot of goals. Cool. And like you said, Dino, at that point, if I asked you the question, at that point before he makes a challenge, is he more likely to score, or Birmingham more likely to score from there or from the penalty? You'd say from the penalty. So why are we increasing their chances of scoring by giving these silly challenges away? And it's not like that's the 3rd penalty we've given away this season. You go, it's one of those, it happens. That's 9 penalties. Do you know what I mean? That's a lot. That's the highest in the division.
I mean, fair enough. Go for that first challenge, but once he skips by it, don't go again. Just stop. Let someone else try and make a challenge, because you're in completely the wrong position. And 9 times out of 10, if you make a challenge and you miss the challenge from that position, it's going to be a penalty. And the ref was left with no option.
No, the risk and reward, just the risk far outweighed the reward there, and the chance of it actually coming off. And so it was very frustrating. It was a frustrating way to gift them the lead, really.
And it was a wake-up call, wasn't it, for that period of time? Because we created some kind of half opportunities just before that. We were coming into the game a lot more, and we basically just chucked away all that good work we just made in that last 10 minutes up until that penalty period. So really disappointing to basically lose a silly goal. And I thought McCallum today, on the whole, didn't have his best game in a sky blue shirt. I don't know what your thoughts on that,
No,
Ross.
I agree. I was chatting to a couple of friends, commentary fans, and I sort of feel like I thought he was a bit sloppy today. Just some of his passes a bit wasteful at times. It wasn't his best performance. I think I wouldn't go too much further than that, but I just don't think he had his best game, and I feel like he was getting done a bit defensively as well. So I feel like at both ends, it just wasn't. I think it was that Sanchez, was it for Birmingham?
Yeah,
he was getting quite a bit of joy down our left. So it wasn't his best game, and hopefully he can get back to form on Tuesday night.
Fingers crossed. He definitely was sort of targeted, and Nige agrees he had a hard time of it. Wasn't run ragged as such, but definitely struggling with them down the wing. I don't think he had the opportunity to sort of go in that attacking phase at any point during the game, really. He never really seemed to cross the halfway line other than maybe a handful of times.
Until there's that one moment where he found the ball found him, didn't it, in the penalty box from about 7 yards, and he swiveled and got a shot. And I'm thinking, what on earth is he doing there? Do you know what I mean? But it almost ended up in a goal. But
especially in a back four.
In a back four, I mean, I guess we can come on to that. But the whole back four, back five thing, you do sort of lose something. But actually, I didn't feel in recent games in a back five he was getting further forward much more than really he was in a back four. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like actually we see the best of our two centre-backs in a back four compared to in a back five.
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's bring in our first guest of the evening. Just bear with me because I'm having a little technical trouble, I'm afraid. Here we go. Mark, you're live on Sky Blues Extra this evening. Good to see you and good to have you with us. What's your thoughts, mate?
I think overall, at the start of the game, I think it's a winnable game, but after the 90 minutes, I think a draw was probably the right result. I think echoing what we were saying about their first goal, I thought McCullum was stupid. That tackle, going back to the risk and rule, I just thought, what are you doing, kind of thing. He was in the wrong. He got on the wrong side of their attacker, and I couldn't believe what he'd done. But I thought after that we battled back really hard, and it's good. Yeah, as Ross was saying earlier, it was good. It's good that we got an equaliser because there's been a lot of games where when we do fall behind, we look a bit clueless in terms of getting back in the game. I think it's one of them games where looking at the second half, I think Birmingham had a lot of the play, and they may argue they had a few missed chances, but I always thought that we could nick a goal there, and I actually thought the formation is with two up front. I think it's a better formation overall. I think we look a better team with two up front, and also I feel like Gaio Carrez, whatever his name is, excuse my pronunciation. Yeah, kind of Vic. I thought his work rate was absolutely outstanding today. When I was watching the game, he was helping the midfield out, and to me, that's a real team performance by him today. I know he's there to score goals, but his overall play today was great, and I think. I thought Biarmi had a decent game. I think he'd be a bit disappointed that missed in the second half because that was a good move, and it would have been good to. To hit the target from there, to miss it was a bit disappointing. But I think it's a better result for us than it is for them, I would say.
Definitely. And I think you make a good point with Garakes there in regards to his positioning during the game, his work rate. I'm just looking at his heat maps now. He's everywhere all over the pitch. You make a really good comment that his work rate was top notch, and that's what we need. We need those battlers now, don't we?
Absolutely. And in these games, you need that. And I think what he does is he's almost an extra midfielder. When we're having to defend, he becomes into that extra sort of midfielder, and he's helping the team out. And I think that's possible. I mean, I think for me, he's setting the example there for the rest of our attacking players. But having said that, I thought Biarmi done okay today. I think it's one of them games.
This is Max Biarmu who's carrying an injury too.
Yeah, and he doesn't, and he looks he's doing a great job. I mean, in the circumstances, I mean. It'll be interesting to see what happens, obviously, with Walker having a fitness test today. It'll be interesting to see if Robbins persists with them two up front or whether he goes to Walker. But I think at the moment, Biarmi and Gaiokaris are doing a good job for me.
Do you think Gaiokaris' work rate is sort of, passing on to the rest of the team? Because I feel like O'Hare has it's gone on another level the last couple of games. Do you think that work rate is sort of,
I think it rubs off. Yeah,
merging into
Yeah, I think the only disappointing aspect of our performance today is the number of offsides we conceded when we were attacking. O'Hare, for me, getting caught countless number of times offside. I'm sure you've got statistics in front of you.
Here we go. Here you are.
Yeah, 8 offsides. And to me, it's about looking across the line. Just have a quick glance across the line and then just make that movement. And I think that's something going forward. If Robin's looking at that game, particularly for Nottingham Forest next week, is just timing those runs better.
Absolutely. I want to bring up another point you made in your first statement about sloppy mistakes. It seems to be individual errors that have cost us early in the season. They seem to be slightly creeping in again. How do we get those and eradicate those from out the team?
Well, having watched the game today, I felt like we weren't getting goal sides to their attackers. There was an instant right at the end. I think Jutkovic could have scored, where Hyam is not goal side to him. He's caught in a really bad position, and if he makes any tackle there, he's risking a penalty. So I think it's just positioning for me is the big thing. I'm not a coach, or I don't aspire to be one, but just from watching the 90 minutes today, I think it's positioning of our defenders. It's the same thing with the penalty today. McCullum's in the wrong position. He's not goal side, and he gives away a poor penalty. So that's what I would say.
All right, and looking ahead to Tuesday evening versus Nottingham Forest, obviously another relegation candidate. I think they drew 0-0 today with Barnsley, so not a great result for them at home. But we shouldn't be in awe when we go to Forest on Tuesday, should we?
I think we were a little bit unlucky in the previous game at City Ground, not to get at least a point there, and to lose, was it 2-1 at the time, was disappointing.
Yeah.
But I think we've got to try and target 3 points, because after this game you've got Watford at home, which obviously is going to be a tough one, and then you've got Cardiff, who are
and they're struggling too, aren't they?
Yeah, so I think we've got to target 3 points. If you get 3 points, and I think you look at today's result and say, 7 points last 3 games, that's okay, But I think I like the formation. I think it looks better. I think ironically, since Dabo hasn't been in the team, we've actually looked a better team. Nothing against Dabo personally. I think Dabo's been our best player this season, but I think the overall shape is better, and we look a bit more compact. For me, we look a bit harder to beat.
That's another milestone hit as well. That's 30 points we've hit now, which I'm sure Mark Robbins and the management team have targeted, and we've hit that in 26 games, which is really good to see. How many points do you think we will need to be safe come the end of the season?
I think usually on average it's between 50 to 55. So I would say I'm going to say 55, and the reason being is because if you look at the results throughout the season, there's a lot of kind of unexpected results that you don't get to see. So I think there's still a lot of work to do yet to secure safety. And obviously Rotherham didn't win today, and they got 2 points, so 2 games in hand on us. So I'm going to say at least another 7-8 wins for me.
That's fair enough. And I suppose a good point is that other teams are being dragged in. I mean, you look now just above us, 3 points on Tuesday evening could take us up to 13th. Bringing the likes of Luton, Huddersfield, Cardiff, Millwall all into the fight. The more teams that are involved in that relegation scrap, the better it's going to be for us, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't think we're not far off. We're not far away from them simple teams. I think we're just a little bit of probably better quality in the final third, I would say, but we're there or thereabouts. I'm confident that we will stay out this season. I feel we've got the players to do that. It's just about those key chances, just taking it. Like today, Biamu, if he could nestle that in the bottom corner, I think would have won the game. You could look at it that way, or you could look at it, Birmingham had chances as well, and we could have conceded late on. But I think overall, it's a better result for us than it is with Birmingham, 100%, because I think from what I saw of Birmingham, they're not a great team. They're quite a direct, physical team, and quite a dirty team as well, I thought.
Absolutely, and the foul show that. Mark, obviously fantastic to have you on the show once again. Hopefully you can join us on Tuesday evening after the game, and we can talk all over again. Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Mark. Thank you.
Cheers,
Cheers, Mark. Ross, obviously some really, really good points Mark's made there. What's your thinking on the relegation number, on the average we're going to need?
I think it'll be a lot less than what Mark said. I genuinely think I'm buzzing that we got to 30 points because I remember saying, I think it was before Christmas, if we can get to 30 points but before we play Watford again, then we've got 17 games from Watford or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more to try and get. Honestly, I genuinely think 45 will be enough.
Yeah.
I think if we win 5 matches, if we win 5 more games from Tuesday to the end of the season with a couple of draws thrown in, we'll be absolutely fine. And I think the reason for that is because, like you say, there's teams above us. There's a load of teams who are sort of very inconsistent, and as a result, I feel like I think the average is a bit lower. Do you know what I mean? There was a freak season where I think it was like, wow. I think there was 2 teams who were adrift, and the third from bottom team were a decent team, sort of thing. But I look at the other teams. I honestly think 5 wins would be enough. How about you, Dina? What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think 44, 45. I think if you've got let's say Wickham are gone. That's pretty much a given. So that's 10 teams, 11 teams battling for 2 positions. They all can't win every week. Some people, they're pretty much guaranteed to play each other at some point during that course of a period. No, they can't all get 3 points every time. So 43 for me is pretty much a guarantee.
I agree.
When I think about it.
Well, you look at the teams like Derby, they can't score. Nottingham Forest, they can't score. Do you know what I mean? The one thing we've got, if you actually look on the goals for tally, we're in a decent position. Like, we actually can score, goals. I think Derby. I think there was a stat the other day. It was the fewest goals from open play this season.
Yeah,
Derby got 6.
Yeah,
it's just, so I really still worry about them. I thought Sheffield Wednesday. What are they doing in the end today? Did they win today in the end?
Sheffield Wednesday.
They were winning, I believe.
I've got the results up here. Look, here we go.
So they won, big win for them.
Yeah, big win against Preston.
But I mean, I didn't think they looked that great. And the thing is, we play these teams. We play Wickham again. We play Rotherham again. We play Forest on thingy. We play Cardiff soon as well. We play a lot of these teams, and I believe we'll pick up the wins needed if we keep playing like we are. And also, I think carry on, mate.
Go on. No, go on.
I was just going to say, I think the reason why we're not quite where the likes of Barnsley and Luton are, I genuinely think are the injuries. I think we've had such a bad run of injuries. Matty Godden, Dabo now, Tyler Walker. I mean, that's our, Matty Godden and Walker are our 2 goal scorers. And they've both been injured for a big proportion. So I think it's remarkable, really, that what we're doing, considering the injuries we've got.
I was having some shower thoughts. I think it was yesterday, and I'm thinking, no Morosi, no Rose, no Kelly, no Walker, no Godden. It would actually be a minor miracle if we stay in this division. That's the spine completely gone from this team.
And Dabo, he's not. He was injured at the start, got going a bit, then injured.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I thought about it today. And I believe we will. I think if and when we stay up, I think it's unbelievable considering the injuries we've got. Last season's top scorer out. Started well, then was injured, couldn't really get back. Tyler Walker was showing promise, couldn't get back. Kelly, influential. I mean, talking a Kelly role, Matty James is unbelievably good.
Yeah. I've got some points to make on him. Yeah. Such an intelligent footballer. It's actually beautiful to watch. And I actually can't believe we've got someone like him in our team, to be honest. He deserves to be probably playing at a much higher level, in my opinion. It's probably just his fitness level.
Like he'll be with us, won't it, next season?
If we stay up and we've got him, that's a huge statement of intent going into next year. That's for sure. He's calm, he's composed, he's just an intelligent footballer, like I said, and he's no disrespect to us, but he is miles above the level we are currently at. I think. I think he must still be like local. Do you know what I mean? To like Leicester or whatever, and we're like perfect for him. But I mean, he literally is the perfect foil for Hamer. Like literally perfect. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because Hamer can be a bit of a loose cannon. Do you know what I mean? At times, he's all over the place. It's brilliant to watch. But like James, he was mopping it up, clearances. And there was Birmingham a couple of crosses in today. Matty James, who's there to positionally was brilliant.
Spot on.
Yeah.
I agree. So intelligent. And he plays some balls, and you can see that the other players aren't quite on his wavelength. Do you know what I mean? Because he's played a ball, and I'm sat here watching it on TV, and you're like, that's a cracking ball. but that would come.
Twice for Shipley, wasn't it, when he was on the pitch?
Yeah. I mean, it's great to have him, and it sort of just makes you almost salivate with the prospect of you take those injured players and they're fit. Kelly, James, do you know what I mean, in the same team. It's quite, I agree. I think if we stay up, we've done an unbelievable job. Mark Robins has done an unbelievable job.
When you say that about the ball and players not being on the same level, I think Matty Godden is one of the most underrated footballers we've had at this club. His runs, his movement, his intelligence is incredible, I think. And if you have someone like him linking up with Matty James, we can only prosper from that.
Well, the thing is, Matty Godden is he does the stuff that it's easier to see it on TV, but at a game live, people spot raw pace. If someone's really fast, you go, oh, he's really quick. If someone can do a few step overs, you go, oh, wicked. O'Hare, he runs around like a maniac. He's like hard working, incredible. You notice that. Whereas Matty Godden, you don't notice that he's just drifted into this good position. You only notice that he sticks the ball in the back of the net, but that's because of his position. I agree. I think when he's back, and I actually think that's the one thing that if Walker can learn from Godden, the positioning sense, I think he can be as good, if not better.
Oh, absolutely. Right, time to bring the man, the myth, the legend into the show. It's Glenn Goran Eriksson. Glenn, sorry to keep you waiting there. We went on an absolute rant, but great to have you with us. How are you? Haven't spoken to you in a while.
No, it's one of those games that we've had a few this season where I think we should have won it, but then I'm happy we've got a point and we didn't lose it. But I just feel that, I don't know what you guys think. I think as soon as Sheaf went off, I just feel we lost a bit of momentum. There's nothing against Shipley. I don't think Shipley played bad. I just think we kind of lost the momentum we had. We just didn't pop it around as good as we were doing. I don't know. I just seemed to disrupt us.
If I'm honest.
Yeah.
I think the game was calling out for a bit of pace and
Alan.
A bit of trickery. And
yeah,
you've got Wilbur Parga running up and down the touchline saying, "Pick me, boss, pick me."
Jamie Allen, he scored.
Jamie Allen.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Jamie Allen would have been perfect, I thought, today. I don't know what you think, Glenn.
Yeah. I nothing against Shipley. I just think Allen would have just opened, just because they pushed on a bit, and like I said, the frustration with them is Blues. They have a mistake in them. They're not a good side. I listened to a bit of their fans' TV, and they're very negative. They don't flood the box, and we've kind of fell into that trap early on in the season where we just weren't getting bodies forward. And I think now, because we've got the solid back four, I know McCallum was a bit ropey today, but you didn't see McCallum bombing up and down the left. You don't see Pask. You've got a bit more of a base where Hamer can go forward. Sheaf did it's a brilliant assist for Hamer's finish. But I just have heart attack when he gets in the box, Sheaf, because he's just got no attacking sense at all. If he scores a goal for Cov, I'll be amazed. He's just, but yeah, it was a great little flick. Yeah, but it's a great little flick. But I just feel they were just there for the taking, and they're in big trouble. I think Blues. I think they're the team that could be the ones to drop. I think them or Huddersfield or maybe Preston. There's always one from a bit higher up who drops. I think it might be one of them who just
I completely agree. Someone from above is going to drop. I don't agree with it being Preston, but I think it might be Luton Town to when they're on a barren run. And I don't think they've got the quality enough in their team. They basically don't score enough goals really for me. But yeah, like you say, Birmingham are in absolute dire straits. They are going to be pretty much the team that's going to be hovering above, if not in that relegation zone. And like you say, it probably was one that got away, shall we say, today.
Yeah, I just think he could have maybe put Papago or Bakker on. Max was brilliant. I think Max obviously had a bit of a point to prove against them because I think stuff went on last season, the cup tie. I think when he scored, he had a go with Roberts. And I just think that's the frustration. We've played them 4 times and they've spent loads and loads of money. And the difference between us and them is minuscule, if that. I think there's one player in the 4 games who's impressed me, and it's the lad Bella. I think he's the only one who I'd say I'd want him in the Cov team.
Absolutely, yeah. He's the one that seems to have a bit of a
I think they died for O'Hare. I think I think Gorkes are getting their team. I think he was brilliant. I think he just needs to get used to the team and probably have a bit more confidence. Like, he's hit one from 25 yards when he's had a couple of others earlier in the game where he's tried to take a touch. But I think, like you guys said, Matty James, once we get up to speed with how he plays, if he's going to be sliding balls through for Tyler Walker and Matty Godden, then we'll score goals, no doubt.
Yeah.
And I think if you're going to play high liners against us like Blues do, you're going to play into trouble against us. But yeah, I just thought it worked on Tuesday night bringing Shipley on, but I just don't think it worked. Don't see the logic on it today.
All right, I want to bring your tactical nous into the fold a little bit here, Glenn. As a man of many World Cups with England and with your Swedish heritage, shall we say, what would you say to the shape of our team? I noticed that the three in midfield seem to be all over the gaff at times. Do you think we were set up in the right shape today?
I think I know what team he wanted to play. I think he had a plan in place for the start of the season. I think I'll go a bit off track about Hilson, obviously how well Hilson has been playing at Oldham. I can see what he gives because he's played a little bit deeper for him, like in a 3-man midfield, and he's obviously like spreads it around with his left foot. And we lack somebody to play in the 3-man midfield. We haven't got like a natural left foot. We've got James, we've got Hamer, and then we've kind of shoehorned Sheaf in. And I don't think we need. He's not Sheaf. He's good on the ball, but do we need him and Matty James in the same team? And I think he's tried Shipley there. I don't think maybe Jamie Allen going to get physicaled out. I think I'd probably play O'Hare a bit deeper, and I'd probably push somebody a bit more attack-minded in maybe. I don't know who we've really got because we're struggling there, but I just think O'Hare might be a bit better deeper with Hamer. And then they do the running, and James just sits and ticks it over for us. But yeah, I just think you got Sheaf on the edge of the box sometimes, and I just think it's not where you want him. No, it's not his position. I think we just kind of we look a bit unbalanced, but when it works really well. As in Gorkes is very good at making that run from the left across as the goal on Tuesday started. But I feel a bit. If we went 1-0 down, I'm not convinced. Well, I know we went 1-0 down today, but I think if we went 1-0 down late on, I don't see how we can change it to get us back in the game. I think the bench is a bit lightweight, unfortunately, at the moment.
I mean, you said about James and Sheaf could play together. Nigel's saying here, what about James and Kelly? Do you reckon them two could play together?
Yeah, because I think James ultimately is, if we keep him, is going to replace Kelly. I think that's the logic on it. If we keep him, but yeah, I think you probably can because Matty James did get a bit further forward. But I think you don't want him and Sheaf going, and I don't always trust Sheaf to have the know-all and the position if James goes and Hamer goes to be right positioned to stop the attacks and stuff. Like I say, I don't think he played that bad today. I just feel a bit he's kind of been shoehorned into the team doing a role that doesn't work for him. In the same way that Pass was shoehorned into the team earlier in the season to play like right wing back when he's
not his position.
But you're playing right back and he's good on the ball. He's good, solid. He's good in the air. He's a good pro. He doesn't give possession away cheaply, and he was quite solid. Whereas McCallum was all over the shop really, which you thought he would have. Given the fact we signed a new left back, he'd have a little bit of spark and want to prove a point. Because in a couple of games' time, I think he can't play against Norwich, can he? And Reed will probably get his chance.
No. Yeah.
So
I think that's looking to be a good signing, that Reed signing. I've had a couple of friends comment from Scotland that he looked to be going to be a good asset. I know he's only young and he'll develop much more, and hopefully under the guidance of Robbins and Vivash, we can develop a talent there.
Yeah, it sounds like he gets stuck in and he's got the right attitude, which probably when McCallum first came into us, he was probably a bit soft and and got schooled a few times. But I think it's good. It's just like I say, we've just got to stay up. That's it. I'm not really bothered how we stay up. We just got to stay up because the tantalising thing is next season, if we can stay up, there's so much. If Sisu back Robbins, there's so much potential that we've got. If we could get Ostergaard, even Gorkes back, you get Matty James in, you get everyone else fit, and we would be nowhere near relegation if we'd had everyone fit this season.
Yeah.
If we'd had Dabo fit for the full season, we'd had Rose. But yeah, it's just frustrating because I just think Robbins could have had a go for it. To be fair to Kranker, I criticised him when we played the first game there 0-0 and said he didn't really go for it. He did have a go today, and we were actually the opposite. We almost played it safe, but it's just one of them. We've got to get a result Tuesday night against Forest because we 0-1, and then that's not been a bad start. And then we can go against Watford and Brentford, and it's a free hit, isn't it?
Absolutely. Glenn, brilliant to have you on as always. Thanks for joining us again. We'll see you Tuesday night after the Forest game, of course, to get your thoughts as usual. Ross, what were your thoughts on the shape and the balance of the team today?
I thought I thought actually for about 60 minutes, I thought it was pretty good. You know, I get what Glenn was saying actually when Sheaf went off. Because I don't think he always has moments. Sheaf, I've learnt now. Do you know what I mean? Every game, like he'll do something class. Do you know what I mean? Like a really good touch, and then he'll do something where I'm like, oh, "What are you doing, man?"
Reminds me of a football when I used to play football. To be honest.
Yeah. No, I mean, but I was always just something rubbish. I very rarely had something class, but no. No, I thought the shape was decent. I feel like I don't know what it is, but when we play with the back four, I sort of feel a bit more solid defensively, which is bizarre because last season I didn't feel very good with the back four. And we went to back five, and suddenly it was great. So I just feel like having those extra bodies in midfield has helped, especially with the people we're missing. So no, I thought it was all right. I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, I just thought we were just a little bit all over the place to us at times, chasing huge areas of the pitch that we had no covering effectively. And it's kind of like, if you watch a good team, like I know they're way above us, but Man City, for example, right, they'll hunt as a pack, they'll go as a team, as a unit into one position, but then there's always somebody else to cover the area of space. So say like free move into a spot, there's always one man that will stick and stay in that area of space, so they can't attack into that. I find that when we attack, we just go gung ho, and there's so much space.
I agree, and that was especially in the last 25 minutes. I did feel I was noticing that. I felt like there was just a massive sea of green grass. Do you know what I mean? Between the back four, and then suddenly it was like Shipley and all these people were charging forward, and I was thinking, what is going on? But no, I do agree. I felt like we lost a bit of. I felt like in the first half, actually, I felt we responded to going a goal down really well, and I thought the shape there looked really good. You know, but I do agree. It was sort of a bit like, right, let's all just. It was like we all ran forward together, so there was no sort of movement. Do you know what I mean? It was like everyone was running forward and then running back. But yeah, I'm sure that would come. Hopefully, the more they play together.
Absolutely. Well, I'm concerned we haven't talked about the goal. To be honest, brilliant work from O'Hare, wasn't it, to keep that ball alive? The never say die attitude of that kid is just unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, he got 2 assists on Wednesday against Sheffield Wednesday, and then today, you know, that was as good. That made the goal. That was, you know, because the pass. I think I even looked away because, you know, Biamud, there's a bit of miscommunication, and then suddenly I looked back up and O'Hare's kept this ball and knocked it back. Then obviously good work from Sheaf, and then a great finish from Hamer. But in two games, O'Hare's been directly involved, like crucial in 3 goals, and that's what you want to see. I want to see him scoring more because against Reading and other teams, his final finish isn't always there. But at least in the last 2 games, he's been massively important to the goals, and that's what you want to see, like end product. And also, like I say, he's worked hard all season. He always does that harrying, but actually he had the composure to then win the ball and then play a good pass. It wasn't like he rushed to just put it into an area. He picked out Sheaf, and then we managed to get the goal.
And it's nice to see a certain Coventry Twitter account has gone very quiet in regards to Callum O'Hare's assist contribution, shall we say, into this season, which is always nice to see. And Gus Hamer once again coming to the party for a guy who says don't expect many goals. That's 5 now, top goal scorer in the league.
It's bonkers to think. Like on the face of it, you'd go, yeah, our sort of like big signing. He said he don't expect many goals. He's our top scorer. You'd be thinking we should be bottom of the league probably. Do you know what I mean? You hear those things,
Yeah.
you think, yeah, we're adrift. We're like Wickham or whatever. But actually, it's remarkable. I mean, he was actually. It sounds so stupid, but he was the one player I wanted that to fall to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because when he strikes it, and he had that one in the second half, which was just narrowly over,
Oh.
but he always connects well, and often he gets it on target. And from that distance, I thought, yeah, he's come on, man. And as soon as he struck it back of the net, so it's remarkable. What's that? 5 goals? Is it 5?
That's 5 goals now in the league. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, fair
And,
play.
and they've all been really good goals, effectively, aren't they? And they've all meant something in the matches that he scored in.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. And I feel like when he's someone when. I feel like before earlier in the season when Kelly was injured and we didn't have Matty James, he'd been in that position. And let's say that didn't come off, there'd be no protection behind him. But we knew that. Let's say that shot was blocked and it bounced back out. We know Matty James is there. Do you know what I mean? There's that safety net and Sheaf.
Yeah.
So
well, Sheaf normally, but I know he passed it on. But
no, Hamer's he's been brilliant and. It was great for him to get another goal. It is just funny that he came out and said, "Don't expect many goals."
What price would you put on Gus Hamer? If someone came in with an offer, what would tempt you to at least talk about it?
It'd need to be. I think I was talking in the summer.
Yeah. So I don't think he'll go this summer. I think we'll get at least another season out of him.
I think we will because you know what, and I'll answer the question of the thing. But that Reading game, I see games where I go, you know what, he's still got a lot of learning to do. Like sometimes he will do these. Like I think as commentary fans, when we see someone who's got something and does stuff, we're very quick to be negative on players, but we're also quite quick to like overhype players in certain situations. I think he's class, but sometimes it'd
be interesting to see what everyone else thinks as well. So get your comments in regards to how much you think Gus Hamer is actually worth.
I think he's class, but in certain games, Reading, I remember he was just trying these Hollywood balls all the time, and they weren't coming off. And I was thinking, but he'll learn. He's young. I'd probably want at least 6 million. I don't know. I think I probably would. But if we're talking in a year's time, like another year, so not this summer 2022.
Yeah,
it'd be a lot more. If he was to get more goals next season, more assists, then I think it would be silly to let him go. If we stay up, would be very silly to let him go this summer. Or unless someone.
I actually think it'd be disastrous to do that.
I want to see him in the flesh. Stupid. I want to get to see him in. I don't want him to go before fans have been able to actually for him to see the Sky Blue Army. He's got to stay, and that makes me. I do feel quite confident that he's staying, mainly because of this. The pandemic. I don't think clubs. Who's going to come out and unless it was a Premier League club, who's actually going to match what we want for him? Do you know what I mean? As long as we're not asking for $1 million, as long as if we're asking for a big fee, who's going to do that this summer? Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure.
Absolutely. I base it on regards to other players that have left this division and gone on to the Premier League teams. I mean, I look at Ollie Watkins and he's a different position, of course. He scored a lot of goals in the Championship. What was it, 40 million maybe, something like that, rising to 40 million, 25 up front. That's a lot of money. I personally, I hold Gus in sort of that regard. The only thing that would get me even remotely interested, would be 10 million plus. He's worth way more to us than anything under 10 million. We stay in this division for a couple of seasons. It's a guaranteed 55, 60 million pounds in the coffers through television rights. They get even bigger next year, by all accounts. So, another season in the division, it could be astronomical in regards to us surviving as a club, because we don't have a ground, we have no revenue effectively from our owning our own stadium. So any money we can get, and if that's in Gus Hamer staying with us and staying in the division and progressing further up the league, then we have to look into that. But at least 10 million. I mean, it's ludicrous if we even think about anything less, to be honest.
No, I agree. I think he's got sort of more maturing to do, and I think that will come in time. Next season, I'm confident, and I think the club should look and go, we stay at the season, we don't need to sell him. And if you look down the line, just wait another year or so, he can help us develop even further. But like you say, you could then be looking at big money where you go, okay, now we're going to get 4 or 5 or 6 Gus Hamers. Do you know what I mean? Like Brentford do, they sell and then they reinvest that money and they get these other good players, and then eventually we just go up and up and up as a team. And it's the same with the likes of O'Hare and Dabo. I feel like we've got a bit of a gold mine, and that's what gave me huge confidence that we'd stay up. I look at Rotherham and I look at Wycombe, and I think, who would I want out of their 2 teams if they go down? I can't really think of that many where I go, I think it'd be really good. Whereas I think if we went down, you could count 6, 7 players who other teams would go, I'd have him.
Yeah.
I'd have him. And that's why
not all at the top of the league, but teams.
No. But in the champion, Barnsley would go, you know what, we'll take an O'Hare or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think, and I think we've got a lot more of those than Rotherham and Wycombe, with all due respect to them. So, and that made me think, you know what, I think we've got enough this season to stay up. And obviously, and with the injuries, you start thinking, oh no. But it's amazing what Robbins has done,
Absolutely. Let's go through some of these comments. So Wes is saying 1.5 now. Another season and we finished top 10, then 3 million. I think that's slightly undervalued, if I'm perfectly honest.
I think that if we're in League One, that's what we'd have to accept.
Absolutely, yeah. Nice keeping for another year, and if he carries on developing, there's no reason why we can't ask 10. I honestly, I'm in that same boat with you, Nige. 10 million is a minimum for me. Mark, obviously with us earlier on in the show, 7 to 8 million. It could be used to strengthen the squad as well. I mean, there is that. We've obviously picked out a couple of gems over the last couple of seasons, so there's potentially we could go into the market again and pick out another Gus Hamer. Who's to say we couldn't do that? Reese is saying if McCallum is worth 3.5 million, then Hamer's worth double. Rich saying 20 million for Ben Rama. Yeah, I mean, who's to say in a year's time he can't match the heights of Ben Rama
or Calvin Phillips? In another year, a couple of years. But I've got a question for you actually on McCallum.
Yeah,
because Norwich have signed another left back. Do you think he's done that?
Yeah, I think they wouldn't have let him go if they thought he was good enough. To be honest.
If they're going to be Premier League, which looks likely, and they've signed 2 left backs ahead of him, I wonder whether. And you know what? I've watched his performance today in other games, and I sort of think, actually, mate, is he good enough for them if they're going to be in the Premier League at this stage? I don't know. I just wonder whether you think we could actually get him back.
Yeah, but would we want him back? To be honest,
that's a good.
Has he performed at levels I think he should be performing at? I don't really think so. If I'm honest,
I feel like he's plateaued a bit. I feel like he was going like that, and I feel like he's sort of almost in certain games. I don't want to say going through the motions, but like sort of just a bit sloppy. And I don't think he had that sloppiness in his game this time last year. I don't know if you agree. Do you know what I mean? I feel like everything was clean, and I thought he played his best football this season. And I'm not saying he should go there, but when he was playing right wing back, I thought he was playing class. I thought he was playing really good. That assist for O'Hare against Forest. And I think he's had some very good games this season. As a young player, I guess inconsistency is always going to be there. But it was just a question. I just wondered whether does he have a long-term future at Norwich? I don't know.
I don't think he does. I think it's you kind of wonder why they signed him in the first place. To be honest, obviously they knew at the time they signed Sam, they knew they were coming down to the Championship. But he is only young, isn't he? He's still developing. He's still 22, 23 years of age or something like that, maybe even less than that. So, there's time for him. I personally, out of the two of him and Giles, I would have kept Giles. I just think he offers a lot more. We're severely lacking in pace, I think, now in this team. Giles offered a ton of pace. I think we made a mistake, really, in not playing Giles enough. And obviously that pissed Wolves off a lot. That's why they recalled him and put him out somewhere else where he's going to play. He's going to play for Rotherham. I think we
scored midweek.
He did score. I think we did make a mistake there personally. I just preferred Giles as a left back to Sam.
But I mean, for me, the thing is, because he wasn't playing, it was sort of like when he got recalled back, I sort of weren't really that disappointed because he hadn't been playing. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like he was playing, got recalled, and we're like, oh no. And so if we're going to have someone in the squad who isn't playing, I'd rather him be our player, this Josh Reed.
Yeah.
then
and undoubtedly,
and it solves the headache, of course, of the 5 subs trying to fit 6 into 5 sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. I feel like going forward, there was games in the past where I was sort of urging Robbins to bring Giles on, and he never did. And I sort of just thought, clearly, he doesn't trust him defensively. I think that was the thing. Whereas McCallum, I think he trusts him defensively. Albeit today, I don't think he's unbelievable defensively. But I think out of the two, Robbins clearly there was something about Giles. Clearly, I don't know what, but
I suppose we'll never find out, will we?
No.
Or we might do one day. Maybe when Mark Robbins' autobiography comes out.
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so we're coming towards the end of the show. Let's just quickly preview the Forest game on Tuesday night. How do you see that one panning out? It's kind of a revenge mission, isn't it? We've already got one revenge mission in the bag with the Sheffield Wednesday result in the week. Can we do it? Can we make it 2 revenge out of 2?
That Forest game, honestly, this season, I remember that was the most deflated I've felt all season.
Yeah,
because we should have won that game 3-4-1. And to then not even get a point, and I was going to be gutted with a point. And to see Biami do that suicidal pass, I can literally just see it. And then the penalty, it was the same ref. Today was the referee from the Forest game. And I thought he was rubbish today as well.
Centre circle referee. He never moves. Centre circle. Wasn't going to play at all.
I think we can 100% win. I think it'll be a very similar game to the last 2 games we played. I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be about mistakes, about moments. But can we win? We're at home. Of course we can.
Absolutely. I mean, Forest are in sort of... I mean, the last 3 games, they've had a draw, 2 losses. Okay, 1 was in the FA Cup. But before that, they sort of turned a corner a little bit. But fingers crossed we can pull off a result here. I don't see no reason why we can't win this game for sure. I think we showed enough in that first game just to say, we're a decent side. It was just a stupid lapse of concentration at the end, wasn't it? And Danny just made a comment here. I was literally just about to say it. They are a defensively shambolic team, much like the Birmingham team.
And they're pretty toothless up front. They don't score a lot of goals. The fact that you look at both goals we conceded at the City Ground. The first one was really poor defending, and then the second one was obviously, as we all know, that joke of a pass and then penalty. But then we should have, I think that was the game Ostergaard should have had a brace. Biamu should have had a brace. And O'Hare, it should have been about 5-1. I thought we were really good, because then that was the game before Watford, when we then threw away a result against Watford. O'Hare, handball, another penalty. And that was the moment, those 2 results, I remember thinking, we played
2 massive sucker punches, weren't they? Yeah.
Massive sucker punches. So I think, look, we know what we're doing at St Andrews. I think it'll be a game where they're going to try and grind something out, set pieces. I think it'll be literally like the Sheffield Wednesday game. Exactly the same.
I don't know about you, but I noticed a couple of COF fans of messages today, but with the whole lockdown situation and obviously the COVID re-emerging, new variants, etc., how much do we look forward to football matches? It's incredible, isn't it? We have targets now. It's get to Saturday 3:00, get to Tuesday 7:45. Now that game's over. I literally can't wait till Tuesday night. I don't care if we play bad. I just want to see us and support our team. Do you feel the same way?
Oh, I feel the same. Yeah, it's just like, I sort of there's only so much of other things you can do. Do you know what I mean? Between, and I just can't wait for us to be able to get back to the grounds again. I was sort of sick to death of seeing us on the TV. Actually, I miss sort of being there, and it'd be good to meet you Sky Blue Extra lads, because I've not actually met you in the flesh. It's all been virtual.
Yeah, it's bonkers, isn't it?
I can't wait, and I'm sure all the Coventry fans are the same. When we get back to that first game and sing the Sky Blue song together, it'll be quality, and hopefully that'll be in the Championship start next season.
Fingers crossed. I mean, plans are afoot that when we can go back to grounds, where we're doing post-match interviews outside the grounds with us, get everybody else involved. It'd be one big party. I mean, it's going to be some day when we get back, right?
And we've not even had chance to celebrate and thank the team who got us promoted last year. We've not had the chance. We had that online party, But we've not actually been able to see Mark Robbins. I've not been able to clap and cheer him. So I think they need to do something. If we can stay up this year, I'd love them to do something which is like celebrating the promotion, but also staying up. Do you know what I mean? And do something where we could, cheer the team. And because I think what he's done is remarkable. And because Wickham had it, didn't they? They had a game with fans, and Gareth Ainsworth walked around the pitch. We've not.
Yeah, that was quite emotional, even though it wasn't our team. Seeing that happen, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not saying I can't say I'm a massive fan of Wickham, so I didn't find it too emotional. But
you know what I mean. It was nice to see.
It was.
At least the team have supporters in a ground.
It was, and it was nice that when we silenced them a couple of weeks later, 2-1. But no, I can't wait for us. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for Robbins to come out and the players and the new players. That's what I'm saying. Hamer, all these new players. They've not seen the fans.
Yeah, I mean, you said it earlier on. We haven't seen. It'd be an absolute travesty. I tweeted the other week, and the tweet absolutely popped off. But about not seeing Gus Hamer in person, it'd just be an absolute travesty. And Matty James, if Matty James might not be with us next year, and if we don't get the opportunity to see him in a Sky Blue shirt and the quality he possessed, it would be really heartbreaking. And unfortunately, I think the way it's going, I don't think we'll be back in the grounds anytime soon.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
But
in the meantime, that's why we have Sky Blues Extra, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. We'll be back on Tuesday evening versus Nottingham Forest. I know a couple of people have asked about a lot watch along. We might bring that back into the fold soon. Maybe next Saturday.
I thought it was.
Who have we got next week? Is it Millwall on Saturday?
Oh no! I said it worked well against Millwall, didn't it?
Sorry, yeah, it was really good.
With Dave Moore going, hang on, I'm on. What time are you on?
Yeah,
we were like a little bit ahead.
We were trying to catch up, but it's on Sky, isn't it? Next Saturday, early kickoff against Watford.
Yes.
So yeah, it's probably not for that one since it's on Sky, but the next one we'll look into doing that in the future. Ross, as ever, brilliant company. Thanks for your input this evening.
Thank you, mate.
Good to see you again. And for all the Sky Blues Extra fans, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Take care and stay safe.